Hi, it's Millie here, hope you're well. Thank you for joining me. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about a menstrual cup. So if you haven't seen them before, I've got two, they look like this. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my personal experience with them and why for me they're a keeper. So first of all, I bought mine about June, July time, so I've used them for 4 of my menstrual cycles now. And I've had mostly success with them, but I have had a few issues with them as well, so I'll talk you through those too. So I bought them into a packet of 2. So there are loads available on the market now. I've seen them in the supermarkets, you can buy them online, you can pretty much get them anywhere. So I've got a packet of 2, which came with 2 fetching bright pink bags, lovely and inconspicuous. My favourite colour, incidentally. So yeah. That means that I can take one around and about with me if I need to do so. But first of all, some of the pros of the menstrual cup. First of all, you can wear them for longer than you can with a conventional tampon. So obviously that completely depends on your flow. So if you have a vague idea of how your flow differs during your cycle, I mean, it's completely different for every individual, obviously. And then you can kind of come around to how often you need to change it. And again, with the more you use it, the more you'll kind of get used to that in terms of when flow might be slightly lighter or heavier during your period. So you can wear them for longer. Secondly, they don't dry out the vaginal wall. So tampons in particular, not necessarily pads, but tampons really dry out the whole of the vaginal cavity, which means that some sort of good bacteria and things like that also get absorbed into those. So another pro for that is that that doesn't really happen with these. Also, there's no risk of toxic shock syndrome because you don't have a tampon that remains in there. Again, you don't get that from pads either. Also, you get very little odour or no odour at all. I don't know if you notice odour when you're using other products or not. Pads, obviously, because they are external from the body, you can experience some odour from that. Tampons, not quite so much, but again, this eliminates that. And also, just for the benefits for the environment, there is by all accounts, you know, unless you flush, so with things like pads or out and about, you get those bins. Well, all of that goes into landfill, and sort of, you know, collectively speaking, with women all over the world, that contributes an awful lot to landfill. And if you're flushing, then that obviously needs to go through sewer works, etc., and can really, you know, slow that process down in sewage treatment. Also, they are chemical free. So with pads and tampons, you do find that there are added chemicals in those, particularly products like bleach to make it all white. And these are just made of silicone and so chemical free to use. So for me, that's, you know, for those reasons, I'm like, well, yeah, those are a keeper for me. So personally, so out of my 4 cycles, the first 2 and slightly into the 3rd cycle, not so great. I did experience some leakage. The first time I put one in, I played tennis all day. I had absolutely no leakage whatsoever. And I was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. So on the first time, the next day, I had to change twice because I hadn't inserted it properly and I had leakage. Luckily, I was at home, so I was able just to change my clothes. But yeah, that was a real issue for me, and I nearly ditched it altogether. But having persevered, I'm now confident that I am inserting it correctly, so that I'm not getting those issues anymore. The other problem, or the other sort of pros, cons, I suppose, are if you're out and about using public bathrooms, etc., and it's a bit awkward, you know, if the sink isn't inside the loo cubicle so that you can, you know, change it. My advice for that would be, if you're going out, put it in before you go out, because if you then have, you know, 12 hours worth where that's inserted correctly, then hopefully that won't be an issue for you. You know, if you read online, they say, oh, you know, take some other stuff with you to clean it or whatever. But yeah, if you do it before you go out, then hopefully that eliminates that problem altogether. So in terms of inserting it, well, the base of the cup here, that is obviously where you remove it, and just pulling that gently down. They are completely silicone, like I said, so really flexible, really versatile. And in terms of inserting, the advice is to fold it in half and round again like that. And so you then insert and it pops out and makes a seal around the whole of the vaginal wall so that you do eliminate that leakage. I have found that the further up you can get it into the vagina, the closer to the cervix, the better, and that has eliminated leakage for me as well. Also trying to get it to go straight, because if it's at an angle as well, again, I've experienced some leakage where it's been at an angle. And you can feel for that literally just by where the bottom of the cup is, and if it feels like it's kind of pretty central, then you know that that should be inserted correctly. If you've got any other questions on them, then please do just let me know. Otherwise, like I said, there are so many available online that you can buy. This one is Duchess. That just happened to be one that I found on Amazon. So yeah, I've been really happy with them, apart from the 2 changes of clothes. But yeah, if you've got any questions, then please do get in touch and give me a shout. But otherwise, I hope to see you soon. Thank you for listening.